Hi everybody, Enosh here, and we are still talking about the 4-day crossover event between the DC Comics shows on the CW. And so I just want to say a couple of things before I go forward with this review. First of all, thank you to everybody out there. I know it's been a while since I've posted videos regularly, and so it's really nice to get some of the comments that I saw saying that you missed the channel and you missed us doing shows like this. And so thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It shows me that people are watching, that you do care about what we do, and it gives me that edge to push on and do more videos, even though life gets busy sometimes, right? So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you out there that watches and comments in the comment section, and yeah, I just really like it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. That being said, I did want to talk about one thing that I did not talk about yesterday for the Flash episode, and that was something that was center what I wanted to talk about, and I totally forgot it, and that is the Hall of Justice looking Star Labs building. How cool was that? That right there, man, to see that was just awesome. I really love that. I mean, how can you not love that? And I loved it because they kept showing it over and over again, and they just kind of showed it was regal, and any moment you expected to hear those words, meanwhile at the Hall of Justice. But it was really cool, and so I thank them for that. Now, we're talking about Arrow last night. So yes, this show was very much an Arrow episode. It was part of the crossover, but it was very much part of the Arrow show. It was centered around the Arrow show, and that's fine with me. This one was actually interesting. The last time they had a crossover between the Flash and Arrow, I was really disappointed because they hyped it up that the Flash was going to be on Arrow, and then he was like there for like 2 seconds and he was gone, and the whole episode was about Arrow, and which is fine. It's the Arrow show, and I get that. But when you hype up something that is going to be a crossover event, I think you're raising the expectation to be that these characters will interact and there will be more of them in there. So I've been very excited for this 4-show crossover. We've talked about it before here on the channel. So far, man, it's like I can't say 1 for 3 because this was a good episode of Arrow, and I really did enjoy it. So let's talk about this episode. So our heroes, at least the mortal ones, not the aliens like Supergirl or the metahumans, they were beamed up aboard the ship of the Dominators, and they kind of had this experience. They were having this experience of getting the life that they thought that they wanted. It was kind of reminiscent of the old comic for the man who has everything. I think, and they did a Supergirl episode last year of that, where Supergirl was infected by, I can't remember the name of the plant now, but the black something. Anyways, but it gave her basically everything she thought she wanted. So she got to see her life on Krypton, as if nothing had ever happened, bad, and she never came to Earth. And that's kind of the same kind of premise for this episode of Arrow, where these aliens have apparently given all these characters kind of their dream life of what they would most want. There's no explanation given, though, for that. They kind of at the end give a throwaway reference to, well, they're just trying to probe us and get to know things about us, but they don't say why. And I guess that's one of my complaints about this thing so far, is we are 3 episodes into the 4-episode event, and we still really don't know anything about why the aliens are there, what they're trying to do. There was a reference to a weapon being ready, but again, there's no driving force behind it. There's no when you read or watch a story portrayed, you want to get the background, some of that story background, and this, so far, they have not given us anything for these Dominator aliens, and I'm starting to get a little concerned that it's just going to be a throwaway villain, that it's just going to be something, hey, look, we got this really big villain, so that all these good guys have to get together and fight it, but we don't really give a reason, and you don't really make us care about what the why. It's just kind of there. But that being said, I thought it was cool to see you know, them interact with these dream sequences or whatever you want to call them. You know, it was a little strange at the end. It was cool to see Deathstroke. It was cool to see Ra's al Ghul make a comeback. I liked that, and to see the fighting there, and the alternate universe, you know, of what Arrow could be. But it was kind of strange at the end for me, where they knew that Black Canary, the girl who plays Black Canary, they knew that she wasn't the real, you know, person, but yet they were, you know, saying goodbye to her and all that stuff. That kind of lost me. I get it. My wife, Tiffany, she says, well, yeah, but if it was you and it was somebody you really cared about and you never got to say goodbye or whatever. I said, yeah, I get it, but it's really not her. I liked the conflict with Speedy, that she was like, hey, I have everything I want here. Why would I go back? That was a cool concept. And of course, you know, Tiffany called it again. She said, oh, no, she's going to change her mind, obviously. So she did. On the other side of that, you have The Flash and Supergirl kind of fighting to, you know, find them and rescue their friends, I guess. There was just some weirdness in the story. I mean, you know, they encountered the one gentleman. I don't watch Arrow on a regular basis, so I don't know who everybody is, but the guy who was wearing the hockey mask who looked like Casey Jones, which I thought was kind of ironic given the fact that Steve Amell plays Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But so he shows up and he doesn't like metahumans, and he's, you know, really angry, and then he fights that cyborg girl, and you know, the Flash and Supergirl were right there, and you know, they kind of come in at the end. And that was cool. I loved seeing how they teamed up together and beat that cyborg lady. And so that was pretty cool too. And then of course, you know, they get out of the pods that they were captured in, and then it's very convenient because they get a ship and they leave. And it was very Star Wars-esque with all the evil alien ships coming after them. Now, here's something else. Does it seem to anybody else that it's been really just conveniently easy for people on both The Flash and Arrow to just simply hop on a computer, hack anything, and get information or video footage? I mean, a couple last week on The Flash, I believe they hacked a closed circuit television camera, you know, security cameras for a warehouse. And you know, in passing, you just go, oh yeah, well, they just hacked into it because they're brilliant, and that's great. But it's a closed circuit television, you know, camera thing. How would they do that? I don't know. And so it just seemed like they got a lot of information this week from, you know, hacking a computer, and then they try to hack the alien technology. And I mean, they just have this thing that doesn't even look like you could plug into it or anything. So it just, some of that, you know, I mean, I know it's a TV show. It falls a little short sometimes because I think that the writing sometimes has to, especially when you're trying to probably combine all four together, it, you know, you're just trying to make something work. And so I get that. But yeah, those are parts that kind of fall flat for me when there's not a real good reason why. Kind of like the same thing with the aliens. So again, they get away. I pretty much figured that the Legends of Tomorrow ship was probably going to come factor into that and come help them. And then as, you know, they decipher, you know, the alien language a little bit to just hear that, oh, there's a weapon. And okay, that's fine. That's cool. I did like the little reference, the little God reference in there about how the one character says that, you know, he doesn't believe in that there's this all supreme being who plans everything. And then at the end, it's kind of like, well, you know, it's kind of tied in with the Old Testament. I was kind of really surprised by that writing choice, and pleasantly surprised, I would have to say. But, you know, in the end, it was a lot of convenience. And even my son pointed out, Isaac pointed out, when all of our heroes are in the hallway of the main ship, and they're trying to get out, and they, you know, come across all that group of aliens, and they look up and there's a gun just conveniently there on the wall, and they just pull it off and know how to use it. Hey, it's a TV show, right? So, but what do you think? what do you think of this episode of Arrow? What have you thought so far of the crossover event? Have you absolutely loved it? There's been some really awesome things, so I don't want to be negative about it. There's been some really cool things. Like I said, most of that was on the Flash. And then, like I said, with being able to see the Hall of Justice-esque Star Labs building was pretty cool. This episode of Arrow, it kept my interest. I think it moved the story along a little bit, but we still don't know anything about these aliens, why they're here, what they want, what brought them here, what this weapon is, why they're wanting to use it against Earth. We don't have any of that information left yet. And we only have one show left, and that's tonight with Legends of Tomorrow. So, hey, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching again. I really appreciate it. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that we can do some more cool stuff like this and talk about the things that we love. We're going to be talking about Rogue One pretty soon. And also, we're going to be talking about, since I haven't got to do all the episodes of Supergirl and The Flash this year so far, so we're going to do like a mid-season recap kind of deal. A lot of stuff happening on Supergirl. A lot of stuff has happened on Flash, and we need to cover that right here. All right. So, hey, until next time, stay tuned, and let's see how this 4-day event ends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.